Hey everybody, Jamie Pate here and welcome to this video. Today I want to exploit some dyes. Yes, did I say exploit? Yes, I actually said exploit. Because what does exploiting mean? Let's use the positive definition, and that would be to make the most of something. So hang on and take a look at what I'm talking about. Okay, so today my goal is to just really unpack this die set as much as I am able. You are looking at the new Sunny Lane Florals. This is a brand new die set in the shop from ScrapbookCom. Reaching for them all here. There are 27 pieces to this die set, and I have to admit, though, I've made several things with this because I'm a fan, huge fan. And, you know, what's the point of this video is I want you to be a fan, too, because florals, especially dyes, just keep on giving, all right? They just keep on giving. I'm trying to decide. You've seen this one already, or you should have. I had this on a reel yesterday. These dyes put to work. So this is a good example because one of the things I want to share with you about these dyes is that obviously there are several different size flowers, right? We have everything from, this is going to be 2 1/4 across. That's probably your largest, I say that. Yep, it's your largest flower. These would be your largest flowers. This is a pretty good size one. And then you kind of get into these medium sizes. And all this is fantastic for the layering, right? And so that's all the mediums. Then you get kind of the smaller size here, like this. And also, too, I'm going to go ahead and point out, these are also etched. So you're going to not only get the shape, but you're going to get this little dimension on it as well. And that's just there for the taking. And so those are, I would say, the medium-sized ones. And then I haven't actually literally quite figured this one out yet, but maybe someday I will. And then there's this tiny one. And then, come on, are you gonna, there you go, in focus there. There's a tiny one. Then you can see you have some more elements for outlining. Of course, then you see there's some foliage here. There's some leaves and branches. There's 4 of them. And I'm going to talk about those in a minute. You can see here, I had this little scrap piece of magnet that was in my stash, and I put these really tiny centers on the magnet because I don't want them to go away. And I realized I forgot I had these in my stash. It's totally Tiffany's 5.5 by 7, which in my mind's eye, I would trim these down and use them in my 4x4 storage. For me, I get a lot of questions about how I'm storing my dyes, and for me, this 4x4 storage envelope, also from ScrapbookCom, is just ideal. Wait, let me show you. Then I put them in this little holder, and I should probably file, put little organizer tabs on them, but I haven't. I just go through, and just even going through kind of gives you like, oh, I haven't used that one for a while. Oh, I should pull that one out again, kind of a thing, right? So love this little storage compartment. Okay, so now let's look at the cut. So you can see here, this is a tag that I've made. You've kind of probably seen this floating around already. There's also a little reel out there on Instagram about this. But you can see now how I've taken, obviously, a large, a medium, and a little bit smaller flower. Actually, I have 2 flowers here. I've layered those 2 flowers on top of each other. Why? Because it just gives it more depth, gives it more interest, a little bit more texture, all the things I love and that you hear me preaching about all the time here. And I could do the same with all of these. I mean, I could have layered this one up more. I could have layered this one up more. It's like, it's just choice. There might be too many choices here. It gets a little crazy. So then I took the different middles. Here's the packaging, which I've just completely thrashed. And there's some pictures on the back. And I kind of looked at the pictures at first. I'm like, oh, okay, this is supposed to go with this. And this middle goes with this. And I'm like, you know what? Forget about that. I'll show you in a minute. But just to have a lot of the middles at the ready, then you can just kind of do whatever comes to you. Or sometimes something like a middle falls on top of another flower. And you're like, oh, well, that's super cute. And you just make it work. And then you can see, if you saw my brushstroke floral DIY tutorial on here, same thing goes, especially with these florals. You just start being a forest and you just start layering things in, and it's just beautiful. It just works out beautifully. Okay, so we're going to move all these aside for a moment. Keep them on, keeping them on my cutting mat because I don't want to lose them and I want to put them away as soon as I'm done here. Okay, you can see here a very well-loved piece of the roses cardstock. Yes, we are still preaching the roses. If you've seen my last couple of videos, I'm all about the roses, and I'm going to continue to be until I'm not. What I've done here, I think I have cut I've cut all the main flowers out. Let's put it that way. And actually, I do think I have cut all the the middles out rather. They're just not all here. But this was a great exercise in number 1, cutting everything out. Number 2, having a whole bunch of flowers at the ready. Number 3, knowing what they look like, right? Sometimes, I've preached this before, you know, we think we know what something looks like, and until we've actually pulled it out, we really don't. You have to stamp the stamp, you have to cut the die, you have to pull out the paper to really get a feel for things and decide if that's a direction you want to go in. So kind of have these all laid out here. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to share with you, you know, I get into these little creative modes and I just keep doing the same thing. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do the same thing. I've been making these 4x6 little mini scrapbook pages. This one here is with the snowflakes and the holographic paper just because it's so pretty. But here's a floral one, also 6x4, because I think these are going to fit really nicely inside my storyline inserts, or also storytellers, either whatever you call them. And so I scrap mostly for that, but I also might also put these in her album, which is a pocket album, and keep it outside the pocket. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't want to talk about that right now. What I want to do is grab some supplies together. So for my base, I'm going to grab my roses again, and I'm going to cut this to also 6x4, and this is going to be my base. Then I already have my dies cut, so I'm just going to kind of smush these over here to the side, and we'll craft those in a moment. Also, just by way of mentioning, the green leaves came from the darker green in this Harvest paper pad. Then I have this lovely Elena paper from 49 and Market. It's all this on this side, and I didn't pick up too much of this, and I don't really know why I didn't, but I do love this paper. And it's going to be, I'm going to make a tag from it. I think I want this size tag. Let me see this size. Yeah, I think I want this size tag. And I'm so exploiting this little girl this week because this week is her birthday. And so I am diving deep into some projects that I haven't gotten done quite yet. And so let's go for it. Okay, I just used saltwater taffy and warm lipstick to add some stenciled, dotted and the box stencils to the background of this, just to give it a little bit of something. So that's set, and I've already cut from the Elena this tag that's from one of the ScrapbookCom tags, and with the 6x4, because I knew it's going to go on my storyline page, which is 7.5 inches wide by 9 inches tall. I know I can have things hanging over the edge, which is kind of the point of all this. So the idea of this particular layout is I am going to come in here with these flowers, and I'm just going to kind of get an idea of what I want to have where. One of the things I do go for is the different shapes. So we've got some real pointed petals here, a little bit more rounded, and then some really different shapes going on right here. So that's one of the things I like to go for. And actually I'm looking at this one, maybe bringing this one down here and adding these lighter ones up here on top, and then going heavier right here with my leaves. I think I might do that. And so one of the things I like to do as well, what's going to happen here is I'm going to start layering my florals first. So I like to use, there's this little circle in here. I'm going to use this on top. And another thing too that works super well is adding different pattern paper to these as well. It doesn't have to be the same paper. I tend to be very monochromatic, and I don't know why. I just do. So that's why you're seeing these come together like they are, just a little bit more monochromatic than maybe someone else would choose to be. So I don't want to be flippant about it, but you just got to do you. You got to do what works and what you enjoy doing for you. I think I'm going to grab this little flower here. Yep, I do like that very much. And then I think I'll do that on top of it. Okay, so this is just the flower building part, right? Just taking what we have, and I decide on this one, and putting it all together. Together! That's what we're doing. So going back to building, lifting up our petals all around, nothing crazy, just a little bit of something there, and then adding our glue, and that's how you build your flowers. Okay, so I've let the flowers dry. You saw me go in and create some splatters there with the paint. Let me finish my tag, and that's going to need, I have a hole punch here, or I guess a hole reinforcer is what we should call it. So I'm just going to glue this here on the top and make sure my tag is all ready to go. Once it gets in place and everything is where I want it, I'll probably add a ribbon to it. So what I was going to show you here is, and let's do that. Let's just set this aside. This is really what I wanted to show you. So we're making a tag, right? And I turned it into storytelling really super quick. But that is like the big beauty of this. This is something I've really been encouraged to want to share with all my crafty friends so much. Is here we are, we're going to make a tag. This first flower that's going down is going to be pretty much against the tag itself, right? It doesn't have anything elevating it. Then when we come in here, I'm going to take and grab a little piece of double-sided foam here and add to this flower so that then it is elevated. There we go. Make sure your foam tape is not showing through the flower petals. And then here's our other flower, which is going to go right there, and it's going to get double taped. So I'll grab another small piece. I just like having this big 2-inch size here on my table because I never know what size I'm going to need, and it just feels like it has been lasting me for 400 years. Okay, so now that's got some extra elevation going on, which I like. Okay, so those guys are in place, but look how pretty that is, just like this, and how you could just grab a sticker and add a sentiment in here. Either use hot glue, or more double-sided of the foam adhesive, and put a ribbon in it, and you have a nice little greeting for somebody you love, somebody you want to be together with forever. But what the beauty is to make these tags, and then you have them on the ready for adding to little mini scrapbook pages. That is something I super love doing. So like, this could be something it's already made. Hey there, right? It's ready to go. It's a pocket. I already showed you that this is a pocket here. But this could be on a scrapbook page. This could even be on a planner page. It's maybe a little dimensional for a planner page, but there's no rules. And so this could go right on your scrapbook page with your photo, and you have a lovely embellishment, clustered embellishment, just as simple as that. So my point is, I'm trying to share with you how terribly versatile I feel like these new florals are. These Sunny Lane florals are just deeply useful for card making, for the tags, or for adding all the layers to a scrapbook page. So just like we've done before, just adding glue, adding and tucking. And it's when you're using a liquid glue like this, it's super easy once everything is dry to come back in. I have not laid down this. Oops, we got to fix that. Gonna grab a little bit of this. Oop. Let's see here. I want to make it straight on here. I'm going to stick it back in where I had it before. I think my flower's in the way. What do you think? That's okay. We can fix that. And then I'll just lift, tuck this under here, pull up on the backer. Whew. Saved it. We saved it. Let me just straighten it up there. Ooh, okay, we saved it there. Just fixing my leaves there. Okay. When I cut these leaves out, I doubled up my paper and cut 2 cardstock at a time. And the thing you got to do about that, though, is go ahead and run it through your die cutting machine twice. I am currently a huge fan of Spellbinders P6. It is my little favorite die machine right now. It is so lovely. And sometimes, too, you can also put, I'm not sure if it's going to work on this, you can put glue on the top of your branch and then go in there and make it stick to the petal, underneath that petal, instead of sticking to the back of your piece. So I want to point that out too. And that's how I am using these dies right now, guys. I just had to share them with you because I get super excited when something just fantastic comes out, and these are fantastic. And that's just a real easy way of adding a bunch of layers to a little mini scrapbook page. Make a tag with it, whatever. You know the drill. Tags, planners, scrapbook pages, cards. It all works together for me, and I'm so glad you were here to watch, and thank you so much for being here. If you found any value in this video, I would love a thumbs up, and let me know what you think in the comments. See you next time.